So today we are taking a look at +2 handicapper Sam Turner's golf swing. What we're going to do is have a look at what it is to be trapped and to have a two-way miss in your golf swing, and the process we've gone through to get rid of that two-way miss and turn it into a cut. So playing high-level golf, you can't afford to miss the ball both ways. You can't afford to have blocks and hooks. You've got to have control of that ball flight. Sam's movement, which you'll see in a moment, really didn't allow him to have that. He got very, very trapped in that golf swing. So what I'm going to do is go through the analysis here of the first part of the swing so you can see where we started from and the process we've gone through in order to make these changes. So this is Sam's original swing. So to start off with here, left-hand side of the screen, what we can see, setup's not bad, weight's a little bit towards the toes. Okay, then what we'll see is during that first move away, club stays quite low to the ground and the club head gets quite a long way behind the hands here, so it's quite flat really. The elbow's folding backwards too far in this direction here, and as he starts to work it up now, the club's really quite trapped as he's setting the wrists, and now as he takes this up towards the top of the backswing from here, we'll see the upper body starts to tilt and the arms lift up the body. And look from the front view here, what we'll see is if we highlight where he is at the top now, we'll see that this left knee kicks in a little bit too much and the left shoulder is too far over the left leg. What we then get is from here, he'll back out underneath it. So what I mean by that is his upper body tends to go back this way a little bit, okay? Now head drops, and this is to try and get the club or the arms to work back out in front of him because he's really trapped now. His left arm's very attached to his body. His left shoulder's really tight to his chin here from the front view on the right hand side. So now what we'll see is head drops to the right, head keeps going backwards, and now it's really over that right leg. What we'll see now is head's dropped back, right elbow's really trapped, and then the hand kind of works under and gets a bit flippy. So we had a classic two-way miss from this, okay? So we could really see the problem was first bit, club got behind him, then the arms lifted up, which was a tilt with the left knee collapsing inwards here too much in this direction, which then gets the upper body to go slightly towards the target and increases the shoulder tilt. And then from here, shoulder and chin stick, and then the head drops to the right and is trapped underneath it. The club tends to get behind him here, okay? So once that got behind him in this direction, in order to get the club to go up, what he did was he let that left knee collapse, and what that did is it allows the shoulders to tilt so the arms can work up, okay? So I'm obviously over exaggerating here, but obviously quite a narrow base. So it went in and up, and then what he did is he creates a lot of lag and a lot of load coming down. He gets super trapped in this way. So the shoulder's trapped here. What you have to do then is jump up onto the toes and the head goes back to allow the arms to get out. Now what this does is the head goes to the right, it moves a pathway too far from the inside, and then he has a lot of manipulation to make with the face, which then means that if he doesn't manipulate it enough, it's a block. If he manipulates it too much, low snap hook, and that's something he really struggled with under pressure. And being able to hit a cut is something that we're really going to try and work towards. So it's going to be changing how we see the club moving back in this first move rather than being back here. That's going to be the first change we're going to look at. So what we can see here is at the end of the first lesson, we set up this post sort of on the shaft angle, and then what we got him doing is turning back, keeping the club outside it, feeling that wrist set, so keep just trying to get that simple feeling of making sure the club head stays outside the hands, then getting that wrist to set the club up more with that elbow a bit more in front, but the swing started to get long, okay, and that's only because we hadn't started to fix what the left knee's doing, but we can see here the way that the club works up in front, arm more up, but then because of the way the stick is, a lot more space here coming down, left arm more off the body, and then there's a lot of space through the golf ball to allow him to deliver. Okay, so a lot of speed this lad's got, so the key was creating some space on that downswing, which we did by getting the club more out in front of him. Okay guys, so a really simple drill you could do here is I've just put this stick in the ground here, got it level to the golf shaft, okay? Get the club inside, or just on the outside of it, sorry, so the stick's just on the inside of you. If you struggle getting it working under, what you're going to do, work the club up and out, and here it gives you the ability to come back down in front and have all the room you want to hit the ball. If you're going to be getting trapped, you're going to be stuck under it here, which will give you the ability to hit it. On top of it will mean that you're going to be able to shift that path left, give you the ability to hit those little cut shots. The next element we did is start to get the club to set up more and get that backswing shorter, so we can see now turn, we get a wrist set as the club's working way more up through the forearm. So we can see it's going up through the forearm and then to the top with the arms in front of the body, and then those arms had a chance to get down, but obviously still dropping a little bit back underneath it. But that's then going to lead into what we'd want to do next, okay, in that backswing, or sorry, in that transition, is to create some space for those arms. But we can see here the big key is club's way more up in front, it's gone up through the forearm, and then the arms are balanced in front of the body at the top. So you'll have seen in lesson 1, guys, that the first thing I did was get the club in front, and now you can see you've got the wrist set. So he's blending that wrist set to while those arms are moving with his body. We did add some wrist set in the first lesson, but he emphasised it more in the second lesson. Now the big key for him was trying to get the feeling of that right palm, pushing down on top of that left thumb so the club could work up. So the toe of the club was working up, because in the first lesson, saw it stay very low down in here. So that toe of the club works up, and therefore the club could set, and the arms will be a lot more up and in front of him. So you see now the arm is sitting on top of his shoulder plane. That's key for him, because his arms are longer than his height. So he's not Vitruvian man, he's got a bigger span. So he needs the arms to sit up, because that's vital for him to create the space he's going to need to deliver the club in that downswing. What we then went into is learning how to clear that shoulder, okay, and this was then being able to create more space. So from down the line here, it's getting those wrists to set the club up more, getting it to the top, and then from here we can now see how that shoulder's clearing. The big bit here is from that front view, we don't see the head back up as much. So we get the arms out in front, and then the body can clear around, because the shoulder is clearing away from the chin faster, which then means we're going to get the arms out in front, and it can create more compression. This is going to be vital to creating space and getting rid of the flip through impact, and this is now starting to then change the pattern from a two-way miss into a tight little cut. So what we've seen is we've obviously flaring that left foot out here, so the knee's in a more stable and centred position, and what he's able to do is get more behind the wall with that wrist set and stabilise that knee. Shortening the swing now has been a factor, because when you add a set into a motion that was already a little bit long, when you add the correct set in here, swing's going to get longer, because you're going to need the time to adjust to that. Okay, so what we've done now is we shortened it up and tightened and got it matched. I got those arms synced to that body turn here, and then from here, because the knee's more stable rather than the weight being over the knee's in a more solid, stable position. The knee can clear, the shoulder can go away as well, and the arms can get forward. Then everything can deliver together through impact, which is going to be key. Getting that shoulder out the way is a vital movement for him, because it allows him to get into a position where he can deliver the club with space on the way down, and the arms being in front of the body, which is vital for him, because obviously he wants to hit a cut and change his shot pattern. So we have the original one on the left-hand side here, so we'll just play that one through. Okay, and we see the new one. Just let that play through. Okay, so what we'd start to see is big difference here, foot flare, which is going to allow him to stabilise the knee. Okay, then what we'd see here is front view before, okay, left knee went in a little bit too much, upper body's already sinking towards the target. You can see that relative to the picture frame in the background. He's moving in this direction towards it. We can see now, okay, that's even before he started down. What we see now is when he starts that backswing here, left knee's more solid and he's stretching across. So as we get into that top now, it's a tighter backswing, a little bit shorter, okay? Knee's more solid, so we're creating straighter line up through this side of the body, encompassing the knee, the hip and the top of the back. We could see before that this wasn't the case, okay? The lines weren't together, okay? What we then see then is left shoulder sticking. We now see that the left shoulder immediately clears from the chin. So a lot more space at this point now. What we'd see before, head really, really backed out underneath it, a little bit chasey. Now we're seeing a lot more over and around that front foot. Big bit was also in the down the line view, huge differences in here. So what we'd see is if we just get the same swing in, okay, we can then see original club went very much behind him here. Now it's a lot more up and in front, so we can see there, same left arm position, completely different shaft angle, okay, to the top where the arms got behind and then got steep. With the body, now we've got the arms way more up in front of the body. Then we got trapped, now we've got space. So you see a huge difference right there in where the club is coming down and where the arms are, okay? From here, everything was a bit chasier, everything's more left through the ball. Okay, change that pattern from a two-way miss to a little tight cut. So guys, if you think about time frame there, we looked at 4 months on those swing changes. Obviously now it's a bit about creating ownership for him, and he has the certain bits that he has to keep his eye on. Just for your info, for him, he has to keep his eye on left knee and wrist set. If he gets those two elements together, everything else tends to fall into place for his golf swing, okay? So they are his tendencies to want to revert back to, so they're what he really needs to focus on all the time. You see quite a lot of changes there. We've changed this into a little cut. He's lost no distance. If anything, got a little bit more distance because we've been able to control the ball flight better, and he can actually hit it harder without any fear of losing that direction of the shot. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If it's something you've really enjoyed or something you've got a lot out of, comment below. Is it something you'd like to see again on the channel? Please let us know. Obviously we make the videos to help you get better at golf. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thanks for watching, and talk with you again very soon.